I've got my boring bar in here now, and I'm gonna just kiss it off and see how it's gonna cut, if I need to dress it up or not. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is slide my boring bar back a little bit here. So I don't have quite as much sticking out. I'm going to set it. So that I can come basically right up to the edge. And this way I won't have as much sticking out and flexing. Finish is looking like garbage. What's happening is it's rolling the chips around and it's hitting this boring bar. I'm gonna switch over, try a different boring bar here. Alright, I'm gonna have to take a long pause here to switch some stuff around. I completely forgot I had these other brazed on carbide boring bars. I don't know why I keep forgetting about these, but this should handle this kind of a cut a little easier. Quick gander, make sure. Oh yes, well, more than enough. Those chips are coming out and turning just a shade bit tan. So I am happy with that. Now that I completely screwed up where I was at, come in here and see how much more I have left. So I'm at 121. So 170 thousandths. You know what? I'm going to check the barrel really quick and see how much clearance I actually need versus what I'm doing. Oh, that's more than enough right where that's at, so I am not going to waste any more time boring you guys or boring myself with more boring, no pun intended. Alright, so now to hard it off. So let me switch stuff around here and I'll bring you guys back. Alright, I've got everything zeroed out where I want to do my cut. Now, the last time I had all kinds of problems with my boring bar or parting tool snagging up and causing all kinds of issues. So this time I'm going to go very, very, very slowly. Alright. Well, that went a lot smoother than last time. I'm just gonna chuck it up real quick and knock that edge off. to go. We'll put clean all this mess up, and then I'll switch it around, put it in the super spacer, and we'll indicate to get to the center, and then we'll drop our 3-pin holes in. Alright, so pull this off of here so you guys can see. I've got the milling head swung over on top of the smithy, and I've clamped my small indexer, super indexer here, and I'm just getting ready to see if this get this in here. Alright, that's locked in. Pull my parallels out. Now, I've got to find all my stuff and see if I can actually get this adjusted out the way that I need it. Alright, I've got this, my last word indicator on here, spinning it around. It's showing that it's within 1/1000, so I think we're going to call that good. Alright, I've got everything set now. So when I first took the measurement, part of the reason I was so confused when I went to make my adjustments, and I realized that I was way off over here. So I went back and double checked everything, and then I realized that I had mistakenly left the measurement in. I used my some of my gauge pins, seated it, found the one that just barely fit, and used 2 and measured, and I forgot to subtract the thickness of the pin to get the center to center distance. So I was doing the outside to outside, not center to center, and my measurement was off. So now that I've got that figured out, the hole pattern is 1.5 inches hole pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill my first hole real shallow. I'm going to rotate around 180, drill my next hole fairly shallow, and then I'm going to use the gauge pins and seat them in and check it real quick before I do anything else, just in case there's something that's a little bit off still. I've got the camera mounted to the machine, so I don't know how it's going to be vibration wise, but we'll try it out and see how it works. Alright, there's hole number 1. Rotate this around 180 degrees. That's something I didn't think about. Alright, let me get my other pins and we'll get back to this. Alright, I've got 2 gauge pins. One's just a little bit off. That is a little, it starts it, but let's try just one and see how far off we are here. That is not going to work there. Which is part of the reason why I wanted to do it like this and test it, because this smithy, I'm not sure, I don't use it a whole lot on the milling side or drilling side. To be honest with you, this is really the second time I've ever used it like this. Alright, I readjusted. I originally moved off center 750 thousandths, which would have given me an 1.5 inch hole pattern. Problem was, it's not 1.5 inches. It was an inch. It was 1.556. So I've entered it 1.556 divided by 2 equals 778. So I've offset now to 778. I moved over just 20 degrees. That's what the whole pattern is anyways. And it is right in, it looks like it's almost going to cut outside the ring. So I'm going to take my measurements one more time and double check. I really don't want to mess this thing up again. Alright, I think I'm good this time. Or now. So let's try it again. We're good. Slides all the way down. And actually it's going to go in like this, but that'll work. I guess I can just take this part out now. That part of it is done. Now next what I'm going to have to do is mill out a slot here. So what I'm actually, you know what, I think I'm going to leave these in here and move it over to my closing, and I'll use the pins to keep it upright. Alright, I am locked in here to my closing, and what I did is I left the gauge pins in, so it'll have a half a thousandth lean to one side or the other. I just let it sit down against the gauge pins and tightened it up, and I think what I'm going to do is drop my center finder and just touch off the edge here, and then come to center and figure out how wide I want that to be. It's not real critical. I'm going to take a little measurement on the other one, the actual store-bought one, and see how wide it is, and then I'll make the adjustments from there. Alright, so we need to move 459. 1, 2, 3, 4, 59. The finishes don't look that great because I was making kind of thick, heavy cuts, but it's not like that finish has a purpose anyway. So one more quick thing, I want to flatten these off just for aesthetics. And this, I just did this just sheer for looks, because that way it doesn't have that sharp edge, and I think it looks a lot better like that. So next is trying to figure out how to make a handle for it. Alright, I've got it mounted up in the milling machine, and I just want to do a little cut across the top to make sure that everything's all nice and squared off. So I'm just going to bring the table up so it completely cleans up that edge, and we'll make our cut. is completely cleaned it up. So now we're gonna get ready to do the other cut. So I'm gonna change the setup here and bring you back. Alright, I completely forgot to turn my camera back on. So I've got the piece chucked up. I'm using my 1, 2, 3 blocks just to give me a little bit more height, because this mill only has like 1 inch tall jaws, or 1.5 inch jaws. So I'm almost done. I've just got a couple more cuts through, and this is just a 1/2 inch end mill, and I'm just notching down little by little. I'm cutting through, so we'll get back to it here. Pretty much it for the milling part of this. Let's see if I have. Yeah, maybe not. I might have to open it up just a little bit more and see if I can check it with the actual torque wrench I'm going to use. Oh yeah, that's plenty. That's a nice tight fit. So we're done with this part. Now I'm going to flip it around and get set up to cope the other side out a little bit. Alright, so I was going to do it with a hole saw, but I don't think it's going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the actual wrench here, and I'm just going to hold it down, trace the line, and then I'm going to attempt to cut it out with my plasma cutter. So we'll see how well that goes. Alright, well, not a perfect fit, but it's not horrible. It'll work for what this is going to be. I've got the edges cleaned off. I'm just going to clamp it down to my table here, and I'm going to TIG weld it out real quick, and it'll be ready to test. Well, it's done. The pins are in. It did warp it. You can see the color change there. I did get it a little bit too hot. I should have done just a couple little welds on each side and just let it cool. That probably would have been more than enough, but it still fits. It's just a little bit tight. So show you how it works. And then there we go, and it works perfect. So now I'll have this thing completed here sometime soon.